What is up, guys? This is your host, Chayan Rodriguez. And we're back for another episode of Sports Talk Show. Obviously, this week is Champions League week. Obviously, it starts tomorrow, and it's the final 16 teams in Europe. Obviously, we have Paris Saint Germain, Barcelona, Benfica, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Napoli, Bayern, Atletico Madrid, Manchester City, Monaco, Porto, Juventus, Sevilla, and Leicester City. Obviously, these are going to be really good games. Some of them might be tricky. Obviously, I guess the game to look forward to in this round of 16 is obviously Paris Saint Germain and Barcelona. Obviously, another match that we see normally in this stage is Bayern Munich against Arsenal. That's also going to be another good game. And Bayern Atletico Madrid also, Manchester City, Monaco, so some really good games to watch out. But I think the one that everyone wants to see, obviously, is Paris Saint Germain versus Barcelona. But obviously starts tomorrow on the 14th of February. Um, so we got some good teams. A lot of them have rich history. Obviously, we have Barcelona, Paris Saint Germain, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. You could put Arsenal, Dortmund. Almost all of these teams have a lot of history. For the exception of obviously Leicester City, they're obviously the Cinderella team. But to be honest, um, they look way much better in the Champions League. Obviously in the Premier League, they're in. I think they're 1 point above the relegation zone. Um, so it's very. They are in 17th place. They have 21 points. They're in 17th place. Hull City is in 20th. Points. Crystal Palace is at 19, and Sunderland, which is the bottom of the league table, is at 19. So imagine this. This would be really interesting to actually see. What if Leicester City wins the Champions League, right? So the year before, they win the Premier League title. They're the Cinderella team. The following year, they get relegated, but at the same time, they win the Champions League. So they still take a spot from, like, remember when Chelsea won, Tottenham couldn't go into the Champions League because Chelsea had won the Champions League, so they couldn't make it. And that's when Gareth Bale ended up going to Madrid. So it's really interesting, imagine like these outcomes. Obviously, it, most likely it will not happen. Obviously, all these teams are gonna have really good matches. The one to look forward to is on the 14th of February, which is Paris Saint Germain versus Barcelona. Obviously, they're gonna be without Vidal, who broke his ankle. I think it was on Saturday. So it's sad to see that. There was a lot of gruesome injuries over the weekend. There was a player that challenged Isco. Also, I think he broke his fibula twice. One on the slide and one when he landed. It was a double fracture on the fibula. So may he what's it called? Recover fast. This is very sad. Very. It's not good for the player. Obviously it's not. But it's sad to see these injuries. This is part of football. But we wish him a speedy recovery. Um, but let's get into a better mood. Obviously, we have these games going on. So we'll be going through these games with you. Obviously, this is going to be shown on probably on ESPN and not probably on ESPN, Fox Deportes, Fox, you name it. These games these are the tricky games. Sometimes these games people predict the outcomes of these games, and it turns out totally different. Sometimes people count out Arsenal most of the time, and sometimes it happens that they go on. Like remember when Manchester City back with Roberto Mancini, everyone was like, "Nembre, they're not gonna make it out of the group stage," and sure enough, they never did. Same thing with Arsenal. This is what the thing with Arsenal and Tottenham. Whoever finishes above, let's say Tottenham finishes above Arsenal, that's good enough for them, and vice versa. And that's what they were talking about over the weekend. And I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was. I do not remember who talked about it, but they said that Tottenham, when they finish over Arsenal, and when Arsenal finishes over Tottenham, that's really good. That's really good for their teams. But I mean, obviously, you still have to compete for the title. So we'll see what happens. So it's gonna be really really interesting. And obviously Thiago Silva is gonna be a big blow for PSG, especially against Barcelona. He's one of the premier center backs in football today. Obviously, it's gonna be interesting, and obviously Benfica has been doing really good. Benfica is a team from Portugal. It's always them, Porto, and there's another team that I cannot remember. They're the three teams that share the most titles in Portugal. It's Benfica, Porto. There's another team, and I'm just going blank. Um, but yeah, so they're from Portugal. These two teams, Porto and them, Sporting. It's Benfica, Porto, and Sporting. They're always fighting it out for the league and for the league title in Portugal. In the As they stand right now, Benfica is at 51, Porto's at 50, and Sporting, which is in third place, has 41 points. So there's always those three teams that are always the top um, in that league. Same thing for, well, as of right now, it's still kind of tight in Germany. You have Leipzig. Leipzig is still breathing down Bayern Munich's neck in the Bundesliga. So it's really interesting to see this. Bayern Munich has 49 points. Leipzig is at 42. Then in third place with 35 is Eintracht Frankfurt. And then fourth place is Dortmund with 34. And then Hoffenheim with 34. Um, but we'll see. Because from sixth place to, let's say, let's cut it off at Bayern. Sixth place is 33, and Bayern, who is in ninth place, Bayer Leverkusen, they have 27 points. So there's still teams can go up and down. Just the same thing right now when Liverpool won. When Liverpool beat Tottenham 2-0, they jumped from sixth to fourth. So there's always a group of like 4, 5, 6 teams that differentiate by 1 point. So like say you're in fourth place, you lose, you go down to eighth place. No big deal, but I mean it's because all those teams have like, let's say fourth place has 25 and eighth place has 18, 19 points. So you're gonna go up and down, in the standings. But as teams, as this is the final stretch of the season, obviously you're gonna see that you won't see that flipping going up from like fourth place to seventh, back and forth. You won't see that towards the end of the season. Some teams are gonna crash. They're gonna run out of gas, and that's where teams like who are in the Champions League they have to really watch. And that's when rotation comes into place, and that's you have a when you have a deep squad. Most of these teams have a very deep squad. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Um, I would say Juventus also, and some teams don't have that that war chest. Um, Maybe Paris Saint Germain, maybe them. Benfica, I haven't kept up with their team, or Porto, or Dortmund. Uh, it's hard, because Dortmund they have a really good team, but outside like the starting 11, maybe and two or three other players, that's it. That's their team, you know. Napoli, I really don't follow them, but I think they're another team that they're very strong starting 11, but once you go to the bench, you don't know you don't know what to expect. My team Bayern Munich, you can swap out players. David Alaba, you put in Bernat, Philip Lam, you can have him a right back, or you can switch him up to defensive center midfielder. And then let's say Arturo Vidal. You can switch him out with Xavi Alonso. You still have Douglas Costa who can switch in with Arjen Robben. You still have Renato Sanchez who can come in. You have Lewandowski who is their goal scorer. I think that's the only fault that my Bayern Munich team has. Who can replace Robert Lewandowski? I really do not know. But you see, like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, maybe Atletico Madrid, Juventus. Those are the teams that have a big war chest. You can take out one player and bring in another player. Real Madrid, you can take out Isco. You have James Rodriguez. You can take out Sergio Ramos and still have Rafael Varane. You know, you could take out Karim Benzema. You can move Cristiano Ronaldo to the striker position. You have that, or you can bring in Alvaro Morata. So you see, those teams can do those adjustments. They can substitute one, or they can sit one out and bring him in later. Um, and that can happen. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in these games. So there's some really tricky games. You have Paris Saint Germain versus Barcelona. Paris Saint Germain normally plays really well at home, and we'll see. We'll see these teams. Let's see how well they do at home. And so see like Barcelona's gonna play away to Paris Saint Germain, and PSG normally does really well at home. It's when they go away, for the exception of when they eliminated Chelsea. That's the only exception. Because PSG normally plays Chelsea in the round of 16, for the exception of this year, obviously because their disastrous season last year. Normally that happens, but Paris Saint Germain and Barcelona always happens. Also, Benfica's playing against Dortmund in Lisbon. You have Bayern Munich playing against Arsenal in Munich. And then you have Madrid playing against Napoli in El Stadio Bernabeu. You have Leverkusen against Atletico in the Bay Arena. Manchester City against Monaco in Manchester City or Manchester. What I find really interesting is when you go to the Champions League, you can't say the sponsor's name. It's really funny to see that. And then you have Porto against Juventus in El Estadio de Drago. Estadio Ramon Sanchez. It will be Sevilla's against Leicester City. So I mean, that's for that's for that's for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then that's for Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Next week it's Leverkusen. Already went over them. Okay, never mind. All right. So I mean, so you see, these games are, it's gonna be really crazy games, and then obviously in the second leg it's gonna be in March. March, I would say 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th, if I'm not mistaken. I should check just to make sure. Yes, 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th. See, I got my stuff. All right, but so I mean, we'll see that, so you see these reports. Thiago Silva's out on the Barcelona clash. People even thought Real Madrid's Cristiano Ronaldo was gonna sit out of this game, but he's just sitting out of training. People like to speculate, like to make little things bigger than what it seems. People thought, okay, he's sitting out. Okay, he's not gonna play tomorrow, and I do think, yeah, they play tomorrow. They should play tomorrow first, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I'm mistaken. They play on Wednesday. But we'll see. You know. So I mean, these teams, they're gonna have really really good matches. So if I were to say, for the predictions for these games, Benfica against Dortmund, I feel like Benfica's on top of the table. Dortmund, they have their good times. They have their bad times. If you check on the Bundesliga table, they're in fourth place, and they'll be okay in the Champions League. I'll give it to Benfica, but Dortmund scores at least one goal. It makes it a little tricky to play back in Germany, in Dortmund's home. Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. I don't know. Barcelona's back four. That's where it becomes interesting. Barcelona's back four. If you were to give me Barcelona's back four, I don't know, man. Barcelona's back four sometimes they don't. I don't know, man. Like the way they line up sometimes, like, gee, how else, dude? Like, I know the lineups are not out yet. The lineups are not out yet, but if we were to go to, like, let's say this past game, this week, we can you can see you can see the teams, I guess, lineups. You can go back and you can see how they played it. Barcelona beat Alaves 6-0. Um, the lineups. I'm gonna go to the lineups. You have Ter Stegen. You have Jeremy Matthew. Umtiti, Lucas Digne, Alex Vidal, Sergio Busquets, Andre Gomez, Ivan Rakitic, Luis Suarez, obviously, Neymar, and Lionel Messi. But we'll see. They're back four. I don't know, man. Like, if I don't even. It's hard, it's hard to predict with, but Barcelona's back four has not been very consistent, and I'm very hesitant to say this game might not be a little bit more. It's gonna be interesting. I'll give you that, and Jared Piqué will return for this trip. Um, but Ardan Turan and Alexi Vidal are out. So Ardan Turan, he's actually surprised me in Barcelona. He plays a good role with Barcelona, but we'll see. And I become very hesitant when it's Paris right now. Predicting this team, Paris against Barcelona, PSG versus Barcelona. I'll give it a PSG at home, but it's not a win because once you go to Barcelona, it's a whole different atmosphere. For the exception of certain games, when Bayern Munich, is it Bayern Munich? I think it was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, when they beat Barcelona, when Chelsea beat Barcelona at Camp Nou, and those are the only two games that are vital that I remember. If PSG can play a really good game and Marquinhos, Di Maria, and if Cavani scores, because Cavani's been on a good streak lately. If Cavani scores, if this team plays a good match, I believe they can win, but they still give up a goal to Barcelona. Let's say they win 2-1 or 3-1. That's going to become tricky when they go to Barcelona. If they do not win, if they cannot win without giving up a goal, I believe it's Barcelona's game. Barcelona's Barcelona's game. Let's say Paris Saint-Germain wins 3-0. I'll give them a 65% chance of winning this round of 16 match. 65%. Why? Because Barcelona, Barcelona can come back with their firepower, with the talent that they have. They can come back to Camp Nou and destroy Paris Saint-Germain. You know it. If they do not win 3-0, they win 3-1, 2-1, I believe they have no chance. Unless, to be fair, Barcelona has struggled against mediocre teams and the low league table teams in La Liga. And you can see it when they were going through that rough patch. You can tell that some of these teams play really good against them, and they were winning close matches. But PSG is gonna have to play on the defensive because Barcelona likes to hold the football. They like to hold the ball, and it's possession for them. So PSG has to wait to counterattack Barcelona, and maybe Edson Cavani gets a shot or two there, and he has to make those shots count. He has to put him in the net, against Barcelona. So Paris Saint-Germain, it's hard because you don't know which PSG team comes out, But they've been doing good in the French league, in Ligue 1. But I'll give it a PSG. But it's not going to be a favorable victory for them. I say 2-1. 2-1. And so that reduces their chances to like 45%, even maybe 35% chance of knocking Barcelona out in the round of 16. Right? So then Benfica against Dortmund. I already said Benfica against Dortmund. Benfica's playing better football. I do believe they win 2, maybe 3-1. I'll say 3-1. Maybe even 3-2. But if it's 3-2, 2-1, 1-0, Dortmund still has a chance, with Christian Pulisic, Aubameyang, Marco Reus. You have Mario Götze. Just watch Dortmund. Dortmund is a sleeper in this stage. Dortmund can catch fire very quickly. They did it to Madrid a few years back when it was an all-German final against Bayern Munich when they played in Wembley. So we'll see. I'll give it to Benfica though. 2-1, 3-2. If it's 3-2, that's gonna be a really good match, you know. But I'll give it to Benfica. Benfica. I'll write it down. Look, PSG. I said what? PSG wins, right? Wins tomorrow, and I'll say 2-1. Benfica. I'll say Benfica wins 2-1. Let's give it 2-1. Benfica 2-1. I'll give it to Benfica though. 2-1. Madrid. I'll give it to Madrid against Napoli because Napoli is they're a good team, but they don't have that superpower against Madrid. I'll give it to Madrid though, and I think this is gonna be one of the lopsided matches in this round of 16. I'll give it to Madrid like 4-0, man. I'm not kidding you. Madrid can win 4-0. Two by Cristiano, the other two by Karim. I get to Madrid 4-0, man. We'll see, Bayern Munich against Arsenal. This is my team against Arsenal. Bayern Munich, they will win, but they won't win convincingly. Just like they did in the weekend, man. They scored the 2 goals in stoppage time in the 90th minutes. This cannot happen, especially in this group round of 16 matches. I don't know. I'm saying group stage. The round of 16, they cannot do that. Especially, they're very efficient with the ball. They do really good. You always have Frank Ribery on the left. You have Arjen Robben. You guys know this. If you watch football and you see Bayern Munich, it's always Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery, left and right side, and in the middle, you have Robert Lewandowski in the front. Then you have Lam, sometimes in the defense, sometimes in the midfield with Xavi Alonso. And you have Arturo Vidal right there too. You have Thiago Alcantara. I was gonna say Thiago Silva. And then you have David Alaba, you have Matt Hummels, you have Jerome Boateng. And I was gonna say, but you see, they cannot keep the. They beat Ingolstadt. I remember they beat Ingolstadt, if I'm not mistaken. They beat 2-0 with 2 goals coming in the 90th minute. And I remember Carlo Ancelotti's like, this cannot happen in this game when it comes to this, So I believe Rafinha, if I'm not mistaken, Rafinha will play on the right side, on the right back, and then either Matt Hummels and Jerome Boateng or vice versa. And you have on the left back either David Alaba, and I do believe they use David Alaba, not Bernard. They cannot use Bernard until maybe like the second half substitution. They can use him then. And then you have Philip Lam and you have Xabi Alonso as a back. I'm talking about a 4-2-3-1 formation here. And then you have Arjen Robben on the right, Frank Ribery on the left, and your center attacking midfielder. I put Thiago Alcantara. I can see him there. Thiago Alcantara. You can put Arturo Vidal there. Kingsley Coman, I can give it to him. Joshua Kimmich too. We'll see what happens, And then oh, you know what? Forget it. I'll put Thomas Muller as my center attacking midfielder. And then Robert Lewandowski as my forward. That's the way they should play it. I don't know why I'm not giving it to Thomas Muller. So yeah, that's the way. And if they played correctly, Bayern Munich should come out winning tomorrow. And if I'm not mistaken, they are playing in In Germany, they should be playing in Germany. Yeah, they're playing in Germany. If they're playing in Germany, forget it. Arsenal's out of. I'll give it to Bayern Munich 4-1. Give it to Bayern Munich 4-1. Munich wins 4-1. Okay. And that's what I think, you know. Bayern against Atletico Madrid. This what was it? This past weekend, that was Bayer Leverkusen's first win of 2017. I think so. I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But the way they're playing, this is the worst season in 11 years. I'm gonna give it to Atletico Madrid in this round. Not even just this game, but in this round. They'll surprise me if they do good in this. Chicharito finally scored his. If you guys go back and watch the highlights, Chicharito's goals are beautiful. The two goals they were on the volley. They were the most beautiful goals. The first one, he was on the right place at the wrong time. The right place at the wrong time. At the right place and at the right time. Beautiful struck volleys, perfect timing, everything you name it. Those two goals are the goals of the week, along with Fernando Torres' overhead kick. Even though that overhead kick, that bicycle kick, is kind of weird, but I'll give it to him too. But if Chicharito does not score, and the Benders, I don't know, I'm saying the Benders, the Benders, Bender, um, these the key players in Bayer Leverkusen, they're not consistent, guys. Unless they do a superb performance like they did in the beginning of the season, I'll give it to them. I would give them this match because they're playing in Germany. But they're not. I mean, but they are. They are. But I'm not giving it to them because of their performances lately. I'll give it to Atletico Madrid. And I do believe Atletico Madrid will win this game and will win the round, but Bayer Leverkusen will make it tricky. In this game alone, I'll give it to Atletico Madrid 3-1. 3-1 to Atletico Madrid. I'm not kidding you. I'm giving it to Atletico Madrid right here. Manchester City against Monaco. Manchester City is becoming very, very, very dangerous at the moment. And Monaco is on the top of their league. With Paris Saint Germain is right there at 55, then Nice is at 53. This is going to be a really good match also. I'm just looking at it right now. Manchester City against Monaco. We will see what happens with Gabriel Jesus's injury, you know. But Manchester City is becoming very dangerous. Monaco is a very dangerous team in France. But we will see how that translates to over here. Monaco have Radamel Falcao. I do believe he still plays there. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe he still plays there. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he had the double. Yeah, that's true. He had the double. Mabe had that hat trick. We'll see. You know, both teams are coming very dangerous, and it's in England. I will actually give them both a tie. I'll give it 2-2. Manchester City and Monaco, they'll share the tie. And that's going to be another interesting game. Atletico Madrid's game and against Bayer, Leverkusen, Manchester City, and Monaco's game, that's going to be very tricky. Those two games are going to be very, very tricky. Porto and Juventus. We will see that game. Juventus will win. I'm 95% sure that Juventus will win. And you know what? I'll bump it up to 98. That 2% because Porto's very it's a really good team, and do not sleep on Benfica. Do not sleep on Porto. Those two teams will give you a run for your money. But I do believe Juventus will win. They have so much firepower. It's incredible, you know. I'll give it to Juventus in this game, and that's even though they're still playing away. Juventus will come out victorious in this game. Juventus will win. I believe they will win uh, 3-1. And if they win 3-1, Porto can still have a fight in Italy when they go to play them on March 14th. Sevilla and Leicester City. I do believe that both teams are struggling in their respective leagues. If I'm not mistaken. I know. No. Sevilla's not. I know they're not. They're like in third place or something like that. So Leicester City. That's I don't know. Sevilla might run them out of town. They're gonna run them out of town. But we will see. I'll give it to Sevilla, but Leicester City might have a chance. Who am I kidding? They're not. They don't have a chance. Sevilla is gonna beat Leicester City. Sevilla is very. They're a very deadly team in La Liga, and you can see it. Sevilla's gonna win. I'm sorry. I'm not, I don't know why I'm giving Leicester City a chance. Goalkeeping is horrible. Defense is horrible. Everyone's horrible in that team. And that team is a disaster this year. In the Champions League, they look good. That's why I'm struggling even right now to even give it to Sevilla 100%. Because Leicester City has shown in the Champions League that they can play. But current form, I'm going by current form. Sevilla's in third place, and they're not that far behind. They have 46 points. Real Madrid is 49. Barcelona is at 48. Sevilla is at 44. Sevilla's only lost 4 games in La Liga. They have a goal differential of 16. They have 44 goals in favor, 28 against. And I'm looking at my stat sheets right here for the La Liga standings for Sevilla. Real Madrid has a goal differential of 36, Barcelona 43, Sevilla 16, Atletico Madrid has 21. This is where it's getting me. Sevilla and Leicester City. Sevilla is going to have a good game. I give it to Sevilla. And do not count Leicester. Do not know why I'm saying that. Do not count Leicester City out. I don't know why I'm saying that. But Sevilla will win. But they won't. I don't know. They'll win. If they win 3-0, they'll win. They'll win it good. They're gonna. But if they win 2-1, 1-0, Leicester City can come back. But Sevilla. If we look at Sevilla's. Let's look at Sevilla's record. Against Las Palmas, they won 1-0. Some of their games are very iffy. Well, they beat Madrid. I remember Copa del Rey. They knocked out Madrid. But against Osasuna, they won 4-3. They gave up at least a goal per game, for the exception of that insane game with Madrid 3-3. But I'll give it to them. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Sevilla. Sevilla will win. Maybe like. Okay, Sevilla will win 3-1. Those are my predictions for this coming week. It's not for the whole. It's not for both games put together. Coming next week, we'll talk about. Tomorrow we'll talk about the results. For this coming games that are happening. We'll talk about it on Thursday. I will have an episode on the 14th, and I will have an episode on the 15th. But this is just for the pre-games for this week's matches. So these are my predictions for this week's Champions League. So PSG wins 2-1, Benfica wins 2-1, Madrid wins 4-0, Munich wins 4-1, Atletico Madrid 3-1, Manchester City and Monaco tie, Juventus 3-1, Sevilla 3-1. These are just my predictions, but obviously paper means nothing. It's worthless when it comes to soccer. You're going to be in for surprises. So who knows? We'll see what happens these next 2 days. All right. So this concludes my podcast for my sports talk show, and this is my soccer because this week is Champions League. Obviously, everyone loves football, so we'll see what happens. This week, obviously, I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow, I'll wrap up the games for this week and for Valentine's. The 15th, we'll see those games, and I'll give them my results and input on these two games. And Thursday, we'll wrap up. We'll see what happens Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. Alrighty, guys. So thank you for stopping by with me, your host Chaya Rodriguez. This is the Sports Talk Show. This is the soccer edition because this week is Champions League. So have a great day, guys, and thank you for listening to my podcast. I'll be coming back on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Alrighty, guys. Thank you.